Oh my gosh. You can't make this up, Mike. Oh my gosh.
Rachel, they want me to go back and start it over.
That was about as... Goodness gracious.
Sorry if I made anybody pee right there.
Oh, wait. So they're going to record you, Mike, coming. Okay, Rachel, let's get the music going again, Rachel, in just a few seconds, if you can. Uh-oh. I don't know what's happening. Shout, put my heels up and shout. Oh my God. So bad. So bad, yet so good. Shout. Shout. Oh my gosh. Well, if you weren't awake before, you are now. Grab your mic, Mike. Oh my God. Kim says, do it again. If you weren't here, you have no idea what just happened. And it's raising all the pulses in the room. Whew. Oh, Mark didn't see it.
Mark didn't see it. We got to do it again.
Wait. It's Mark's birthday today. Yay.
Happy birthday.
Awesome.
Happy birthday, Mark.
Happy birthday, Mark. Everybody put in the comments, happy birthday, Mark. Okay. Hey, Mike, I'm not going to tell you to have to do the market since you're catching your breath, but obviously a lot has come down. We only got 456 new.
It's like it was a holiday weekend last week.
It was a holiday weekend last week. And so, but we still are seeing quite a bit in the market outside. So 57 new outside of the areas and in Kabul areas and places like that. Are you all right now? You going to be okay? That wig looked really great on you, by the way.
Wait for next week's wig. And those of you that weren't here, have I switched the camera back? I have.
You did.
Next week, even more.
So 955, the highest yet in the last year of the GSBOR residential listings coming on. That's pretty powerful.
We told you it's going to get to 1,000 pretty soon. And then it's going to feel like a balanced market. It won't be a balanced market, but it's going to feel like it.
And we were at the book club this morning. Woohoo! It was awesome. This book, you guys, if you haven't read it, is so good. I think I'm on chapter like 5 or 6, and it is so powerful. I can't believe I have not read it before. It's very confirming about leaders and having a leader that helps you multiply versus takes you down.
Very cool.
Yep. Cool. And here we are, September 14th. We're right there. Tech Tuesday, right after this. We also have Realtor Safety Month.
Yeah, so this whole month is Realtor Safety Month, but tomorrow we have Tim and Melanie Selvey coming in who run a thing called Damsels in Defense. It is self-defense training, plus they have the cool tools you can buy.
Like that.
That kind of, well, maybe not a taser, but
that was pretty good.
But they're I've known them forever. He's a past highway patrolman. And so they're going to be here. It's 11 o'clock here in the training room. Going to be a great class with some self-defense things and some products you can buy for safety reasons, that kind of thing too.
It's very powerful, you guys. I mean, we all kind of, just think that nothing's going to happen, but when and if something were to happen, to be prepared for that is one of the greatest things you can have.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And they are great at showing you things to think about that you never thought of before.
And preventing. It's not just about dealing with when it happens, but also stopping it from happening, right?
And tomorrow's the 15th.
Boom. Okay. We got Dan Trickell's teaching, make the most out of smart plans.
But look at the next slide because tomorrow's the 15th.
Taxes are due.
Everybody excited?
Oh my God.
Paulina's eyes got really big. She's like,
oh no, no, not looking forward to. We've all, if you've been in the business for at least 2 to 3 years, you've experienced what it is to go, oh no.
So how many of you though have Facebook memories where it brings up pictures from the past? I had posted something like this in 2011. I said, I hate tax day. And a lot of people put, it's nice to have money to pay taxes. because of how bad things were. Then I'm like, okay, I need to look at that a little differently.
Very, one of my coaches told me one time, he goes, you should really strive to pay more in taxes. And I was like, that's silly. I do not agree with that statement. And he goes, no, because if you think about how much you're making, to be able to pay that much is pretty powerful. And I'm like, okay, all right. I'll change the way I look at things I can look at change.
So our new agents for this month are Dayton Lovin, Michael Rice, Laura Martinez, Rita Carey, Alex Pruitt, Carrie Eaton, Ashley Schaefer, Christina Boyer.
407 Woodland Loop.
407 Woodland Loop. That's a good property right there. I think we should be putting an offer in on that.
Aaron Page, Adam Grubbs, Brittany Whetstein, Dalton Coswell, Justin Bryson, and Mr. Woodland, whoever he is.
Who was that, you think?
You know, people don't come to team meetings because they're so stuffy and formal. They don't know what they're missing.
They don't know. Look at, we're making deals on this team meeting right now.
Yes.
Okay, we have a mission moment, and that means we have a spotlight for last week's winner of Mr. Speedy.
And here's what's crazy. They won. This is the second time they've won, and they've been out of state. So they were in Alaska, so Speedy didn't get to ride the motorcycle with
I was super
Charles
sad
and
about that. Maybe there can be a special invitation
we
ride.
will get something special.
That would
Charles
be good.
is online. Did he want to speak?
Do you want to speak about who you chose? Or you want me to read it?
Can read it.
Okay, read it.
Okay. Sarah Winfield is our winner. She was here last week. Is she here today? Sarah always greets you with a smile and is willing to lift a helping hand every time we've ever had to ask. She has on many occasions cooperated with showing properties while we were both away, and our clients have always found her to be a top-notch agent and very informative, and I appreciate her help. It's agents like her that help make a company that continues to grow to be more desirable to work with and makes it possible for us small agents to get away from a bit to refuel. So that is awesome.
That. Really powerful. So Speedy is coming your way. Sarah, awesome. There we go. We have vendors in the house.
Yes, they need wigs. Nope. Come on up, Casey.
Casey, let's hear. How's the lending world going? How are rates? How are closings?
Closings are great. Rates are great. Everything's great except for my files.
Wow.
Just one important thing I want to touch on. So this happened last week to me, and it happened to me late last night. And it's something that's hard to find in any kind of guideline. If you have a mobile home or a manufactured home, it cannot be moved more than once. So from the dealership to the property, that's it. So we have to do a structural engineer report on all FHAs and sometimes the conventionals. So if, for instance, the one that happened last night, they found the old tie downs wrapped around the chassis of the trailer. So it's been tied down somewhere else once before. So it's going to fall out. So the only loan that's possible with that is VA and cash. So if you guys are doing listings on any kind of mobile or modular home, or not modular, but mobile or manufactured home, make sure it's not been moved more than once, because it will kill the deal in a heartbeat if the structural engineer picks it up. I've had them not pick it up. So again, there's always exceptions to the rules in this business.
But everybody says VA loans are not good to do.
VA, in my opinion, is the best loan to do ever.
Exactly.
If anybody's eligible for a VA loan, we do it,
Cool.
no matter what.
Fantastic. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. And we'll hit the next slide.
We expect you to have a wig next time. Broker moment. Jim says we're good.
He says we're good. Wow, that's an incredible report right there.
That's nice. That
Hey,
means nobody's done
good
something
job. High five,
stupid.
everybody.
Yay.
Okay, dude, we don't get to do that very often.
No, we don't. Okay, slides from what's that place? GSBOR.
Yes.
This diversity class, we've talked about it several times. This is a certification you can get. Oh, by the way, we forgot to mention any other vendors. Are there any here or any online?
Oh, yes.
Adam McGrath is online.
Adam McGrath, Liberty Mutual.
Adam.
Can you sing it?
You don't want to hear me do that.
Liberty, liberty, liberty. I'll do it for you.
Sorry,
I got you, Adam.
Sorry we forgot to mention you there. I just realized it. So
Thank you.
by the way, those of you online, we tried to make it, because those of you that don't know, when you're watching the camera, the words are flipped. So we did bold both ways. So it works for online people too.
So there's an acronym on there for the designation.
Yeah, so you can get letters after your name.
AHWD, out.
And this is one that stays forever. You don't have to pay a fee to get it each year like CRS, which does not mean what a lot of you think it means. But this is a designation you can get, and it's going to be huge because we see a giant development in homes going this
Well,
direction.
it's almost like the equal housing lender. Remember when all those equal housing symbols came out, and this is kind of another phase of that in a way.
So how many of you have letters after your name for like your different designations?
Ooh,
A lot of you do.
a lot.
I've had them for 13 years,
Yeah.
and nobody's asked me what they stand for.
But they mean something.
I have BME,
BME.
MM,
Hmm.
CDL.
Cool.
Bachelor of Music Education, Master of Music, Commercial Driver's License. And nobody's ever asked what they stand for.
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical.
Yes, I have the CDL designation.
Yes, powerful.
I can move
love
your
it.
moving van.
I got my
for you.
transaction coordinator's license when I first got into the business. Yep, I have a certificate and everything.
Okay, next week, we want a bunch of you here, September 16th, not here, but at the Farmers Park. It is the annual meeting where they basically announce the new officers for next year, plus the cornhole tournament. It is a lot of fun. It's not a stuffy meeting. It's at the outdoor covered Farmers Park. There's
Silent auction.
I don't know if there's a silent auction. Does it say it?
Silent auction.
Apparently it does. Chiefs memorabilia, fire pit.
I know.
They've added that since last year. All I remembered was the liquor.
Okay.
So there is one more spot open for the cornhole tournament,
didn't
but
hear
you
that.
might as well give it up because the Kellys are going to win.
Okay.
Kelly Hunt and Kelly Nice are a team that's entered. They're going to win this thing. So
I've
be
heard
there
that
to
they're
cheer
on
them
a team like with Browntown Homes.
That's so bad for them.
Okay. So there we go. Like it. And
that-
we have annual membership meeting.
that is-
Same day.
Same thing. So it's two events going on at once. Farmers Park. It's a lot of fun. Last year we had like 25 people there from Keller Williams. We'd like to have more because the more of an influence we have, the better.
They could be bold.
They could.
Okay. So update. SOMO MLS rules.
This was on here.
October 1st.
Jim, I didn't know this was a thing you couldn't do, so I don't know.
Right.
But, October 1, authorization to shows, listings to submitted must include the sales price. I always assumed they did, but
I thought it was like a required field. Is it? I mean, but apparently now it is. So there you go.
there we go.
Okay. Save the date.
Paulina.
Welcome up, Paulina. We are excited to hear from you. Here, I'll give her mine.
Okay.
I'll be super quick. I just wanted to remind everybody. So the Leadership Academy and myself at the board, we're putting on an event. It's called Fact or Fiction at the Frisco. It's a trivia night. We've been working on this project basically this whole year. It's October 21st from 4 to 6. Tickets are $10 each. And there's 5 people per team. If you don't have a team, sign up anyways. We will find you a team. Right now we have 40 people signed up and the maximum is 100 people. So time is running out. I would love to have more Keller Williams agents show up and represent. So I think Rachel is going to post the link to sign up on the chat.
I think that's right.
I will
There it is.
also
It is.
post it on the internal page. I would love for you guys to come represent KW and just have a good time. There's going to be lots of door prizes. There's going to be drinks and just a lot of fun.
You know what? A lot of people don't know what the Frisco is.
Yes. So the Frisco is,
Have you been there?
I have been there.
Okay. It is the old Frisco Railroad building right off Chestnut in Kansas. And the whole upper level is basically, I think it's Meridian Titles area, but
Uh-huh.
they've rented out, there's meeting rooms up there. And this is going to be a cool area. It's going to be a lot of fun on that day.
Yes. So I would love to see all of you guys there. Sign up because the spaces are limited.
Hey, Paulina, what can our agents do to start studying so they can make sure that they're the ones that are going to win? What can they study
Ooh.
for?
It's honestly, it's going to be a variety of questions about the MLS, about rules as agents, about ethics. So just
You want to tell them why it started?
why it started.
It's part of her leadership group project.
Yes. So our goal is to connect the board with agents. There's a lot of bad light shining on the board. It's kind of like a agents versus the board mentality. So what we're trying to show agents is that the board is actually on our side.
Helpful.
They're helpful, yes. So that's kind of our goal is to shine positive light on the board and make agents realize that the board is not against us.
And not
They're-
everything they hear is fact.
Yes.
That's the big part of
exactly.
it. So
Exactly. Especially for agents that are like bashing the board on Facebook. We're trying to get rid of that.
I
Thank
like
you
it.
much.
Thank
you,
you.
Paulina. Appreciate that very much.
And Rachel, before you go to the next slide,
Oh, no, go back.
Rachel had an announcement.
Yeah, so I wanted to mention our video vault is up and running. And so in the chat and at the front desk, we also have a Google form. So what we need you to do is to sign the waiver, essentially saying that Keller Williams is not responsible for whatever content you produce. And if you break something, then you're responsible to pay for it. You have to have the waiver completed before you can start using the video vault. So we only have about 40 of our agents that have completed that so far. So we need to get more completed so you can start using the video vault. If you have any questions, let us know. Also, we have so many upcoming events between now and the end of the year. What we're needing from you on the internal Facebook page, that's where all of our events will be in the events tab. Make sure you go on, see what those events are, and then let us know if you're going to attend. So the damsel in distress thing next week, we need to know how many people are going to be here so they can properly count on their end. And we have the Halloween potluck, chili cook-off, trunk or treat, all these things happening, and those can all be found on the events tab in the internal page.
Fantastic.
Because we ain't ordering food unless we know you're coming.
Right. And the link there, super easy. Click it, sign it. It makes everything so streamlined to be able to schedule that, use it. Take advantage of the value of having your own recording studio in the office. I mean, not every brokerage I know has that, like none.
We're still working on some of the foam getting up there, but now on the outside of the hallway, there's an on-air light that lights up.
So when you flip the switch, it's actually showing that it's being recording or being used at that time.
So that's up there now. So yeah, you got to get the waiver signed, but that's going to be something you can use for listings, for interviews, for whatever.
Yep.
It's going to be so cool.
So cool. All right. So we're about to play a really important video.
Here we go.
I need everybody to put your phones down. And if you're watching on your computer, you know, mute your notifications or something. I want you to be all in for a second. Say, I'm all in, Tim. On the chat, I want you to write, I'm all in, Tim. I'll see how many people actually did that. That would be great. Okay, and we're going to play this video, so watch this very carefully.
Hi, I'm Gary Keller, and I just want to take a second and talk to you about your real estate career. I get asked all the time, Gary, if there was just one thing that I could do that would have the biggest impact on my career, what would that be? And honestly, without even having to think about it, I tell them, you need to get bold. Now seriously, I think you need to get bold. You need to take our Bold program. Now, here's just a few facts I want to share with you about Bold. You know, the current average of contracts per real estate agent while in Bold is 14.2 contracts in just a 7-week period. Bold increased written units of attendees by 50%, sold units by 50%, and GCI by 114%. Those who got Bold and had 4 to 6 years experience in the business had 44% more written units, 41% more sold units, and 35% more GCI than those with 4 to 6 years experience who didn't attend Bold. Those who got Bold and had 7 to 10 years experience had 44% more written units, 35% more sold units, and 20% more GCI than those with 7 to 10 years experience who didn't attend Bold. You get the point? Sales associates with 40,000 to 50,000 GCI had 78% more units written, 62% more closed units, and 130% increased GCI than they did before they attended Bold. So what do I think when I hear all that? I think you need to get Bold. I'm going to tell you the secret is the program does work because it gets you to do what you need to do. It holds you accountable to do it. And you know, it's one of the toughest things about our business. We're independent contractors. We want all the freedom. At the same time, we struggle with the challenge of holding ourselves accountable. Bold's not only going to teach you what to do, it's going to help you find a way to be accountable to do it. I think you ought to do it. I know I would do it. Let me tell you one last thing. I think you ought to do it 10 times. I'm not kidding. I think you ought to do it 10 times. Maybe the first time you take it, you ought to pretend like you're in the first grade or second grade. And I want you to think about every time you take it, you take 1 or 2 year leap in your education. 10 times gets you out of high school and gets you out of college. So until you've mastered Bold, don't know that your business doesn't need anything else. Good luck. Be bold.
All right, so I'm going to let's welcome up our panelists really quick. Come on up, guys. I want you to have a seat right up front. And we're going to talk about this because you guys have taken Bold. and some of you have taken it multiple times. And so we're just going to go down the list, introduce yourself and how many times you've taken Bold. And then we'll just discuss like what you've got out of it and why you would recommend it to others. Cool? All right.
I'm Nate and I'm Bold one time.
Like it, okay.
If you haven't been through Bold, you don't get it.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
very true.
And so why I liked it?
Yeah.
Well, Gary hit on it. It's really good accountability time. Sorry about that. It's good accountability, but the things that I took away from it too, like it's your 20 contacts a day. I still try to hit that. But it's also a mindset too. It's a big mindset shift and expanding your goals and like what you really understand that you can do.
Introduce yourself, say how many times you've taken Bold, and why you would attend again or why they should attend.
Hi, I'm Kimmy Ham. I'm Bold 4 times. I've done it every time it's been available. When I first became an agent, somebody in the market center, I don't remember who it was in the market center, encouraged Liliana, Owen, and I to go to Joplin. So we signed up to go to Joplin in the middle of winter, and school would be closed here, and they would still have Bold there. So it really pushed us. And I'm going to be very honest, I don't like Bold. And I told Tim and Mike both this, I did not like it. However, it pushed me to where I didn't even think that I could go.
Now, hold on a second.
Mhm.
You have been 4 times and you don't like it. Now, we've talked about this a little bit, and it isn't that it is a bad program. It's
sure.
more of that it pushes you to outside your comfort zones.
For sure.
So it's uncomfortable. Would that be a better way to say that it's rather than you don't like it?
That's true. It does. He's correct. Everything from who I forgot who they are that actually put it on.
Oh, well, Bold is a program through Keller Williams, and there's coaches throughout each one. So coaches each are very
right.
different. Yep.
Yes, every coach has brought something different. And if I actually applied it, which I did every time, my business grew. And it was, so again, it's not that I don't like it. It just pushed me to a place that I didn't want to go. However,
well, and what was the result of having been pushed, Kim?
At a place you weren't before.
for sure.
What was the result of being pushed? Because what has happened in your business?
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah.
So one of the leaders or the coaches that he said, everywhere you go, talk about real estate. He said, when you're in the line at the grocery store, start a conversation up with whoever's there and ask them, how are things going? What's going on in your life? I did that. And then he said, the next time, ask them, do you know anybody that's wanting to buy or sell real estate? I did that and got a client in the grocery store line.
Yep.
So everything that, if you will do what they say to do, it explodes.
So just before we get it to Mark,
Okay.
I want to just say this for a second. It said 130% increase in GCI, right? And that you would be basically doing 14.2 more transactions during the next 7 weeks if you take on Bold. You know how much money that is? Yeah. And for an experienced agent, that was 35 more units by taking Bold. So somebody that's been in the business for 7 years or more. Okay. So if somebody that's been in the business for 7 years to getting an extra 35 transactions. So as a new agent, when Mike and I did our little video of the little, like I said, the injection into your business, it's like amping it up, right? That equates to $62,200 for a new agent in transactions. And that's encompassing your cap dollars. So that's while capping out. Okay. For an experienced agent, if you're on this call, I see you, Brian Fisher, over there. If you can see me. And I would say this, an extra 35 transactions. What would that look like for you? How much more leveraged would you necessarily need to be to do an extra 35 transactions, which would be an extra $210,000. Okay. So Mark, tell us, how many times have you taken Bold?
7.
And what is it about Bold that has made you take it 7 times?
Just being a professional of real estate. I mean, real estate is probably, I mean, if you're not a doctor or a lawyer, it's probably the only business you can make a lot of money and impact a lot of people's lives, including your own. And if we're not in college, we're in college at Keller Williams because they offer so much to us. when the other brokerage I was at, they didn't offer anything like this. And if they would have, I would have signed up for it because I want to learn as much as I possibly can. And the very first bowl that I went to, I remember my coach's name. It was Russ Stewart. And I came over here and really never knew how to run a business and didn't have anyone that was working with me. And there was an exercise where Russ said, who's got an EA or whatever, and who needs an EA. And I had no idea what it was or if I needed it or whatever. And so he had me come up and he made an example out of me. And it was because of going to that class or going to that bold that really changed my mindset. And it was right after that that I started to hire for an EA, because it was actually also when I learned about our 20%. Does everyone know what their 20% is? The newbies? With the newbies that are here, raise your hand if you know what your 20% is.
Ooh, boom.
Who all is new in this room within the last 6 months? Raise your hand.
Perfect.
Now, the show of hands that we have, how many of you all know what your 20% is? Raise your hand again. 2. What is your name? Nicole. Tell me what our 20% is as a realtor.
The 20% is basically the top few priorities you should be focusing on and pushing aside the other 80%. So like for me, it'd be like lead generation and SOI and database and
Correct. Absolutely. So we have, and in the back there, you raise your hand as well. What is your first name? Cassie.
Cassie.
Can you elaborate on the 20% anymore?
So it's lead generation, it's listing properties, showing properties, writing contracts, and following up with my database.
Absolutely. Great job. Everybody give her a hand.
Yeah,
Good job. Everybody give them both a hand. So with our 20%, it's lead generate, lead follow up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, and scripts and role play. And it was really when I heard that, it's a double negative, that it changed my business. And I really started to focus on getting other people to do the things that I'm not good at, which is contracts, which is setting up my drip campaigns. And so I've got other people on my team that do those things. And it was through going to Bold that it really impacted my life in such a way that it's just been phenomenal.
Because you can be busy and not be successful.
Correct.
So Nate, how long had you been in the business when you took Bold for the first time?
Probably 3, maybe 4 months.
3-4 months, listened to some of the higher ups telling you probably should do this. And you stepped into that, and it was like a rocket ship.
Yeah.
How long had you been in the business before you took Bold, or when you took Bold?
About 4 months.
About 4 months. Okay, and how about you?
2 or 3 months, probably, something like that.
Amazing. So what we're hearing is that some of the top people in our office took Bold right off in the beginning, and now they are some of our top people. Oh.
And when I was new, I didn't have the $799 either. So don't let that stop you. That's the reason why you need to do Bold, is because you don't have the $799. And the Market Center will make it in such a way that you'll be able to.
Yep. And which is going to lead us right into, so everybody give them a round of applause. Thank you for coming up and sharing that. Head on back, and we have a special guest because we have our actual Bold coach who's going to be teaching us, expanding our minds, expanding our businesses, and expanding just the quality of life that we are going to build for ourselves, because it's a life by design. That's right. So is he on? Can we switch over? Perfect.
Can you guys hear me over there?
Yes, we can.
Awesome. Is my beautiful face showing up on your screen?
Can we make him the full screen?
Hey, listen, it might even be better if my beautiful face doesn't show up on the screen, and you could just imagine what I look like. Ooh, the mystery. There.
I like it.
Am I showing up now?
Yes.
There we go. Hey team, how's it going over there?
Excellent. We're so excited to have you on today.
Man, I'll tell you what, that was an awesome panel. They nailed it. I don't know how much you had to pay them to get them to say all the right things, and yet the reality is they're just speaking the truth. They're living the life and walking the walk that a bold life truly envelops. And who is the wonderful young lady who says, to be honest, I don't really like bold. Who was it?
That was Kim Mooneyham.
Hey, Kim, I love you, girl. And guess what? The first couple of times I took bold, I'll be honest with you, I didn't like bold either. It made me uncomfortable. And it made me uncomfortable because it was enforcing me to do things that I really did not want to do. I was a new agent when I first started bold, and they told me to pick up this device right here. If you can't see it, this is my phone. When I first picked it up, I thought it was like 800 pounds. I'm like, oh man, I can't pick that thing up. And yet the more and more I started to envelop and give into the things that I didn't want to do, I started to see change in my life. I started to experience life in a way that I never could have thought possible. Whereas right now I'm running a team down here in Atlanta where we're on track to sell about $60 million worth of real estate this year. Now, is that the biggest team in the country? No, it is not. And yet the growth from where I went, where I didn't even own a home when I sold my first home, to where I am right now, where we're selling 60 million per year. I've got over 25 investment properties, and I'm living a life that I never could have thought possible because I chose to lean into the discomfort. I chose to realize that, hey, there's a gap in my life that I need to grow. I need to get better at in order to advance where I want to be. Once I did that and just did what the instructors in Bold told me to do, it was a completely different life for me. So I'm going to encourage all of you to take that very step yourselves. And we're going to start by doing a quick activity for yourself. Because we know that it's not just about building the gaps in the production of your business. It's ensuring that we're looking at every single area of your life, that we're coaching to you as a whole. Because if all I do is come into Springfield and grow your production, well, that's awesome. If that's all I did, though, I would say that I did not do my job as a Bold coach for you. Because I want you to experience life-changing transformation beyond just what can be experienced through a couple extra deals. Now, do I want you to grow your business? Heck yes, I do. The average agent in Bold does do about 14 units. My goal, because you guys aren't average, is for you to be closer to 18 to 20 deals over the next 3 months that we're together in Bold. However, let's start with where we are in our lives personally. So if you guys have this sheet, I'm going to ask for you to pull. Rachel, did we all get a chance to print this 7 circles assessment?
Yes.
I have a copy.
Okay, awesome. So for those of you who are in the room right now, you should have a sheet of paper in front of you that says my 7 circles assessment. Now, if you're online, guess what? You can do this as well. So just pull out a scrap sheet of paper. And the beauty is I can actually see if you're doing this through the magic of technology. I can see whether or not you're taking a part in this activity. So guys, the only way that we can get you to where you want to be is to be honest with yourself on where you are right now. And so the 7 circles assessment goes in and looks at all the areas of your life, straight out of the one thing. Gary Keller looks at the 7 areas of his life that he just wants to keep tabs on and see where he is. And it starts with his spiritual life. He says, because man, if I'm not right in my spiritual life, then I'm going to struggle with all areas of the other areas of my life. And then he goes into physical health. Man, if I'm not at 100% in my physical health, then everything else in my life is going to suffer. Then he goes into his personal life, his relationships, his job, his business, and his finance. And he does an assessment to see where he is on a scale of 1 to 10. And I'm going to ask you to do the same thing right now. Go in those 7 areas and decide, write a number down where you are right now in terms of your spiritual life, your physical health, your personal life, your key relationships, your job, your businesses, and your finances. If you're at a 10, awesome, write a 10 in that category. And yet, I've never had an agent in my room put a 10 for every single category. So take a moment, go ahead and write it down.
I think it'd be safe to say even Gary would not write 10s. Would you agree with that, James?
He would be completely transparent and tell you not a chance. Guys, mastery is a journey. It's not a destination. We're always looking to get better and better every single day. My goal today is to be better than I was yesterday. And Gary Keller's thinking the exact same thing. So it's okay if they're not 10s. In fact, if you're at a 10, you'd be at the very first person to put them down, because I've got room to grow. And my guess is that so do you. In fact, turn to your neighbor right now, tell him, I've got room to grow and so do you. Literally,
I've got room to grow and so do you.
I've got room to grow and so do you. It's okay. It's okay. So write it down. Scale of 1 to 10. Where are we in these 7 areas? Now, once we've kind of looked at it and had a little chance for introspection, if you look on the bottom, by the way, do we all know, I shouldn't make this as judgment. Do we all know what the difference between a job and a business is? Why those are 2 separate categories? Well, one of the gentlemen on your panel told you what your job is as a real estate agent. Can anybody remember what that was?
20%.
Yep, you're 20%. Lead generate, lead follow-up, go on appointments, negotiate contracts, and practice and role play your scripts. That is your job. You do those 5 things every day. You do it consistently every day. Those 5 things, I guarantee that you'll be in the top 5% of agents in the country if you do your job right. Now, your business is everything else. When you look at, okay, where do I need to leverage? Where do I need to grow? Who do I need to add to my team? Is my database effectively put together? That is part of your business. Your job is putting in actions those 5 activities. So scale of 1 to 10, where are you in those separate spaces? Now, as your bold coach, it's my job to really understand where you are if you choose to participate fully. Now, is somebody in that room willing to share with me where you are in one of those 7 categories and where you might desire to have a little bit of growth? This is a chance where I'm looking at y'all in the eyeballs. You don't need to be shy. Just share with me where you choose to have growth in one of those 7 areas in your life. Who's going to be bold in that room or online?
James, do you care if I jump in? This is Sarah.
Yeah, hop on in. Who we got?
Sarah Semple. So I mean, there are some that I'm really struggling with, but I'm going to start with spiritual. I realize that I'd like to start a daily devotion as a good way to kick off my morning and get things on the right track as I'm getting the day started.
Yeah, and listen, and by the way, Sarah, thank you for sharing. Thank you for being transparent, because what she realizes, and she wrote this down on the bottom part, what is the one thing you can do to improve your score in the circle that is most important to you? She realizes, I just need time to have some one-on-one time where I'm journaling, where I'm really focusing on my spiritual life.
Brian?
Did somebody pop in there?
I'm Brian, and I'm bold 3 times. Can you hear me?
Yes, you are, Brian. Welcome to our world.
So I chose my personal life. And my one activity is fulfilling one activity every day to get my house in order, meaning get my environment ideal, making sure that I feel as comfortable at home as I do in my business.
Good. So, Brian, do you mind if I coach you on that for a quick second?
Sure.
How can I tangibly note whether or not you successfully achieve that goal on a daily basis?
So I already have a list of activities broken down by day to get my house where I want it to be, meaning, room environment, comfort. It's just a matter of executing on that daily habit.
Got it. So you've got a specific list where if I don't achieve this every single day, then I haven't achieved that goal. Is that correct?
Correct.
Guys, hey, give Brian a round of applause real quick, because that is exactly what we're looking for.
And James, we have one more. We have Cassie.
Good. Cassie, what you got?
I'm bold 0 times, but very excited to come in October.
Oh, Cassie, you're going to be bold 1 time coming up soon. Good. What you write down, Cassie?
Well, so unfortunately, almost all of mine were under 5. So I have a lot of work to do on myself. But my ones were spiritual and physical.
Gotcha.
And I'm going to say it's going to be super easy to do it and it's going to be super hard to do it.
Well, here's the beauty of it, Cassie. You're absolutely right. By the way, I've got room to grow and so do you. So you're not alone if you're saying that you're in the fives in a couple of those categories. It is very simple. And yet the activity of consistently doing it, that's where it can get tricky. That's where it can get tricky. And that's where Gary recommends that we do this. On the backside of that sheet of paper, he tells us the reality is that it does take 66 days to change a habit in our lives. To really force something new in our lives, it takes consistency and continuity. And most people, this is where they fall off because they say, yeah, I've got a goal to do this, that, or the other thing. And then life starts creeping in. And then excuses start coming up. And then the limiting beliefs in our head start to chirp at a really high level. And the only way that we can really track it is to say every single day, did I do what I said I was going to do? By the way, that's what we call integrity. Doing what we say we're going to do on a consistent level, day after day after day. And so what we're going to ask you to do is to tangibly start this right now. We're not going to wait until we're in the bold room. We're going to start right now with our 66-day challenge. And I'll tell you what mine is. Mine is I'm going to sweat every single day. I'm going to have 30 minutes of workout every single day where these pores just start flushing sweat outside of me because I am not as active as I used to be when I was walking around in the rooms. One of the downsides of COVID was that I wasn't able to be in an environment face-to-face with you where I'm walking for 7 hours a day. So my goal for the next 66 days is to sweat every single day with 30 minutes of activity. And I'm tangibly writing it down. It started today. I hit that Peloton and boy, it was miserable. Boy, I did not like it. And yet that's one day down.
James,
and
I got a quote for you, James.
Let's hear it.
All right. Your sweat is your fat crying.
Oh, baby. I just want that, my fat to just have tears.
Isn't that great?
That's the beauty of it. Side note, you guys want to hear a sweet story? My daughter, we were watching Charlotte's Web the other day. And at the end of the movie, she said, Daddy, I have tears coming out of my eyes. And I said, well, baby, why do you think you have tears coming out of your eyes? And she said, well, I think I'm just so full of joy right now. There was no more room for tears in my body. Oh, are you kidding me? Is that not the sweetest thing you've ever heard? Wow. Well, I'm gonna do the same thing, except my tears are gonna come out through my sweat glands. So
there it is.
We're starting it out today. 66-day challenge. My friends, here's the reality. There may be a day where you fall short. There may be a day where you miss it. And yes, you've got an X here. Yes, I achieved it. X here on day 2. Yes, I hit it. X on day 3. And then on day 4, you fall short. My friends, that's where I'm just going to ask you to have grace for yourself and realize that you are not perfect. And be honest with yourself and start that daily challenge back over on day 1. Get yourself back on the horse and recommit that this is when it happens. Now, one of the keys of BOLD, Business Objective Life by Design, which is coming to you in October, is that we bring accountability into the picture. Because if you just do this by yourself, you are likely going to let yourself off the hook from time to time. And yet when you bring accountability into your world, where you have other people cheering for you, rooting for you, and when you don't do what you say you're going to do, they're going to remind you. They're going to say, man, this was important to you. You told me back at the beginning of BOLD that this was important to you. What has changed? And my friends, when you bring that accountability into your picture, that's where we bring our goals into reality. And that's what my desire is for each and every person on this call is that, listen, we're not just going to grow our productivity. We are going to transform our lives from October through December. And my commitment to you is that, yes, when you do the things that we say in the BOLD room, your productivity will grow at numbers that you probably couldn't even imagine And yet, when you grow in your personal life, when you grow in your physical health, when you grow in those areas that really matter to you, that counts as a win for me as your coach. Now, we're going to start getting to a place where we're signing up for Bolds, and we're going to raise our hand and make a commitment that we're going to join. And yet, before we get into that, I'd love to know, what questions do you have for me as your Bold coach coming into Springfield in just 4 short weeks? I'm going to be in your neck of the woods. What questions do you have for me as your coach?
Anybody have any questions?
Coach James, how'd you get so beautiful? Guys, those are just the genes. I don't know. It just happens.
Well played.
What brand are those
I wanted
jeans?
to touch on, we have created a payment plan for our agents. So I know we're going to be asking for commitments here soon, and we have sheets. Mike is going to be passing those out. And if for anyone online, email me and I can send it over to you. So Bold is attainable, right? So if you're thinking, I don't have the $7.99 to sign up, the Market Center understands the value of this trading, and we're here to help you. We've provided different options that through the production that we believe in Bold, you could even take Bold for free if you hit certain criteria. So we can't wait to talk about those, and we can't wait to get everybody signed up for those.
Well, thank you, Rachel. And here's the beauty, my friends. 98% of our success is mindset. Now, how much did I say? What percent?
98.
And 98% is all about mindset. And my friends, it's not just success in your business, it's success in your health. It's success in every single level. It's success in your parenting, in your relationships. It's just success in life, my friends. And yet, as we're pushing towards that success, you're going to have limiting beliefs that pop up in your head. Now, for Bold, you might be saying, listen, raise your hand. Just be honest with yourself. If you're saying, listen, I just don't have the time. I don't have the time. You may be saying, listen, I don't have the money. I don't have the $799. Raise your hand, put it up. You may say, hey, listen, I've taken Bold before. I don't need to take it again. I've got that down. Put your hand up. See, my friends, your limiting beliefs play at a really high level, and they are fighting for your life by default. They're fighting for exactly what your life has been up to this point. And your life by design is just on the other side. Because in your life, you're either in a place where you're living in comfort and not changing anything. And if you're doing that, what research shows is that you're actually slowly decaying. Because there's no standing in a stationary position, because life moves forward. If you're staying in a stationary position, by de facto, you are moving backwards. It takes action, it takes focus, it takes goals, and it takes a mindset of success to get you where you want to be. And all you have to do is raise your hand and say, I am willing to take that chance. I had an agent down here in Georgia that I coached. His name was Chuck. And Chuck did not want to make phone calls. In fact, first day of Bold, he came up to me and said, Coach, I am not going to make calls. I'm going to come in here. I'm going to listen. And however, I'm not going to participate in calls. And I turned to Chuck and I said, Chuck, if I give you one conversation that you can have, just one conversation that you can have with people in your database that will lead to success and results, will you be willing to take a chance and just ask that one question? He said, well, I guess I'll give it a shot. Okay. 2 days, well, the second session of Bold, he finally gave in and he made a call to a builder that he did not want to make. And he asked a key question and a key conversation I'm going to share with you in Bold. And guess what? At the end of that conversation, he had an appointment set up with a new construction builder. And he took that appointment, got signed agreements for 26 upcoming listings that led to over $250,000 in GCI because he chose not to lean into his limiting beliefs. He chose to step out of comfort and invest in himself. And my friends, do you think it was worth it to Chuck to pay that $799 to get $250,000 back in GCI? Yeah.
Sounds like it.
Yeah, it was a home run. It's a home run. So, my friends, you also have some limiting belief right now that needs to be worked on. Something that you need to face in the mirror that we're going to work on together in Bold. And all you have to do is raise your hand and take a chance to invest in yourself. So again, what questions do we have before we jump into the finishing parts of our conversation? What questions are lingering that you may say, well, maybe it's a stupid question? Not a stupid question. Just let it rip.
Questions?
While they're thinking of their question, I think that's no surprise. The first 90 pages of the MREA is all about mindset. And so that's overcoming at the very beginning. And then you get into the systems and models that Bold can help you get. So just overcoming the mindset, I think that was a huge point.
Rachel, you are right on point. In fact, I think if you look at all of the training that Gary Keller has put together through Keller Williams University, it all starts with mindset. Listen, we will teach the fundamentals. We will teach the conversations. We will teach the systems, models, and tools that will lead you to the highest levels of success. And yet, if you don't choose to change your mindset around it, it's going to be a struggle. So let's start with mindset and grow from there. Thank you, Rachel. Any other questions for Coach James? Well, my friends, here's what we're going to do. Here's what we're going to do. How many of you would like to dig into Coach James's wallet and take some of my money? Who wants my money? I'm going to throw it out there. Oh, okay, well, we got a couple of takers. Here's what we're going to do. When we get 15 people to raise their hand and say, I'm going to choose to invest in myself and be a part of the full Bold experience. When we get 15 people to sign up, I am going to randomly draw one of those names and I'm going to give them $400 back. So you are getting that money back. So if you have, if you have a way in which you are going to get Bold into your world, it's going to be at half price. If somebody else covers your Bold expense through transactions you do, it's just free money back to you, my friends. So when we get 15 people to sign up, that's going to happen. So if you are online, go ahead and say, I'm going to sign up for Bold, or I have signed up for Bold.
We already have one.
15 people, we got one already. When we get 15 people signed up by 6 o'clock today, I will do that drawing. And by the way, if we get to 25, I will add a second person for that $400.
Awesome.
So James,
yeah,
you're saying with our payment plan, they can basically get it for free, and then this would be extra money they'd have on top of it.
I can't think of a better word. I mean, it's free money. I'm asking you, please come rob Coach James of 400 of my actual dollars. I'm begging you to take it.
We've got Christian, we've got Jackie.
So if you're wanting to do the payment plan, feel free after team meeting to come and talk to me. That way we can get you signed up today, because we have to get you signed up today in order to rob Coach James. So make sure you come and see me ASAP so we can get you registered and we can do the drawing. If you have questions over the payment plan, one of us from leadership would be happy to discuss that with you and what that looks like. But the quicker we can get signed up, the quicker we can take his money. So come and see us.
So my friends, put your name down in the chat box if you're choosing to go for full Bold. If you're in the training room, raise your hand, be a part of this Bold experience. And my friends, when you sign up, I become your coach that day. I will give you my cell phone number. If you have something that you're struggling with, if you have an objection that somebody's throwing at you, we will work on it from day one, because Bold doesn't start when I come into Springfield in mid-October. It starts the moment you sign up for Bold. And I will be your advocate from day one. In fact, there are people I'm still coaching on a daily basis from Bolds I did 4 years ago, because this isn't an in and out opportunity. This is an investment of my time into your life and an investment of you into your potential. So my friends, I cannot wait to see you in mid-October. Any other questions, Tim, Rachel, any of my other friends there?
Well, we just counted a few right now, and there's 9 that have raised their hands so far in this room alone, and quite a few that have put their hands up online. So we're definitely getting extremely close to our 15 already.
So, gang, what I wanted to say, the reason we do the balloons and the wigs and the dancing and whatever, we know how much this is going to change your life.
Right.
We don't do events just to do events. We do them because we know it's going to put you somewhere else. It's going to stretch you, kind of like Kim said, but look what it's done to Kim's business. I mean,
well, and not just stretching you personally, but financially, you're going to be, I mean, we were talking about it yesterday. If I reached into my pocket and said, hey, I will give you, Mike, $800 right here. Here's $800, right? And you're going to write me a check for $62,000. How's that?
It's not $800.
Okay, well, it's close. It's close.
So I wanted to touch on a couple.
I'm robbing Tim.
So imagine that though. That is one of those killer things. It's you're investing in yourself. I would make that investment in myself. Is I will pay $800 to get 62,000 back. And we have a comment here.
Yeah, so I wanted to talk really quick logistically about Bold because we haven't discussed that. So the first steps of Bold, the first day is October 12th. It will be on Tuesdays. So for those of you that haven't been in Bold before, it will be every Tuesday. There will be a week or two that we skip due to first steps and the holidays. We'll have all of those dates outlined. So it's just Tuesday from 9:30 to 2:30. We will have lunch provided, and it will be the RC Events Center, which is formerly known as the Executive Conference Center on East Battlefield. So we'll send all of that out to you. But it's really cool is that they have changed the time. So for those of you that have been in Bold before, it started at like 8:30 and went until 3:30. Well, now they've listened to our agents and they made it more kid pickup friendly. So now it's 9:30 start time and 2:30 end time. So they've shortened it, still the same great content. So it will be Tuesdays. So we'll be changing our team meeting schedule just so everybody's aware of that. But that is when we'll be planning on having Bold.
Yeah, Rachel, you're right on point. We looked at it and we said, how can we make this easier for our agents to participate in? And we said, well, part of it, it's going to be more stuff, less fluff. So it's not going to be as much rah-rah. Now, there will be parts where we're supporting each other, lifting each other up, and yet we need to get to the content. We need to get to the parts that are going to help grow your business versus we don't, there's no filler time in the content. It is wall to wall.
Sure, the high Ds will thank you for that.
Yeah, exactly. Me speaking, I appreciate that.
We have another question here in the room.
Yes.
So I'm pregnant and my due date is October 14th.
Congratulations.
Change
And I really, really, really want to attend Bold. Is there any way that it could be accessible remotely for someone like in my position?
We've got that covered. My wife's nurse manager of labor and delivery, so I'll have her Zoom in and we can have things going right there.
Well played, Mike. I like that.
See, I love it. So this experience will be in the classroom. And, we feel that in order to have the right accountability, we do want everyone in the room if possible. Congratulations. I'm so happy for you having that baby. And if there's a way that we can find a way to get you in that room, I would love to make that a reality. And right now, I want you to bring that personal life from whatever it is to attend with that little baby you're bringing into the world.
So cool. And Rhett, I just saw that in the comments. Mike, did you see that?
No.
Rhett Smiley is on the call and he said, I'm signing at least a person up from my team.
Okay.
So there's another one. That is very cool, Rhett.
We can hit the 15 by 6 o'clock tonight and then somebody's getting half the money back.
I love that. And if we hit 25, he's going to do that for two people.
Coach James.
Oh my gosh. That's
No
basically
kidding, man. It's criminal what you guys are doing to me. It's criminal.
Make that a trending hashtag.
I like that. Rob James.
James wasn't on at the beginning of the thing.
Oh, he wasn't on at the beginning. You didn't see Mike's beautiful purple hair here. Can you see that?
Mike, hold on. Let me see. Oh man, living the dream.
I know it. Oh,
I gotta know where I can get some of that purple hair in my world.
We'll have it here for you.
Oh my gosh.
Awesome.
Well,
Listen, I couldn't be more honored to be with you. Is there anything else I could do with you before I sign off today?
We are just so grateful, James, and we're so excited to have you as our Bold coach, and we're ready to change lives together. So this is going to be super fun.
I can't wait, guys. Thank you so much for having me on. I can't wait to see you soon. Let's get 25 of you signed up by the end of the day today. Appreciate you all.
Thank you. Talk soon.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Thank you. And reach out.
So we've run a little long on team meeting. I'm talking to those of you online too. Reminder of Quantum Leap coming up September 23rd and 24th. So don't forget about that. That's another
The end of
life-changing
next week.
event.
End of next week. And it'll be such a good prerequisite to Bold. Quantum Leap really leads material into Bold. So it's very, very powerful.
We will have Dan Turkel up here for Tech Tuesday in a moment. Rachel, anything else we're missing?
Nope, we are all set. Just make sure you get signed up and give me your form today so we can get you registered. Other than that, we look forward to talking about more bulbs.
You can't have a positive life with a negative mind.
Exactly. Thanks, everybody.